So, yeah, this film kicks off with Rog sort of wandering around in the snow.
Yeah, well, no, he's not. He's wandering around in a backlot in Pinewood while somebody else wanders around in the snow, and he's got completely different lighting.
Yeah. And he finds a dead agent.
Which, God, what a terrible day to be an extra.
Yeah.
Because they've properly buried that dead fella in the snow.
Yeah.
And it was, I mean, he would have got cancer off the back of that because it was all asbestos back then, wasn't it?
This is all about microchips, which in the mid-'80s were very exciting. Everyone in this is very excited about microchips.
Yeah, everyone knew microchips. They didn't know what the fuck they were because there's no understanding of the technology whatsoever in this.
No.
I love the fact that, it's just a little square thing, isn't it? That he takes out the locket, which is the first place anyone's going to look. If he was trying to hide it, he should have shoved it up his ass.
Yeah. That would have been a great scene.
That would be,
Roger rooting his ass.
Yeah.
But he's spotted by the Russians.
Yeah.
Presuming it's the Russians.
It's never really explained, is it?
Not really. One of them looks like Gordon Brown.
Right.
So he's chased, and there's a quite exciting chase, which is he's left with like the paddle of a snow bike thing. I was going to say.
Well, he's on skis, isn't he? I think he's on one ski.
He's on one ski, and then he's
on the thing,
and then he gets on that, and they start playing California Girls.
Yeah. Even as a kid, that was naff. I
was so embarrassed, even as a kid. Yeah.
It's a slightly boring scene.
He does ski across the water, though. That's quite exciting.
That's sort of exciting.
Yeah, because I guess this is the early iteration of snowboarding.
Yes.
Which is now popular with the lads.
Yeah, me and the lads.
The Trust Fund lads.
Yeah, we're always snowboarding round
Jamiroquai and the like. Yeah. Do you think the woman in the submarine is part of the organisation, or do you think he's kidnapped her in a kind of Silence of the Lambs fashion?
They have... Not a lot of people know that in Russia there is a covert submarine Uber. So he's just WhatsApped her and she's turned up in a papier-mâché submarine.
It is papier-mâché.
Oh, God.
And they've put it against the ice, and you're supposed to be like, where's he going? And you're like, oh, he's going in that papier-mâché submarine.
Yeah, obviously. It looks like... Remember when they did Tracy Island on Blue Peter?
Yeah.
It looks like that.
It does. Maybe they'd sold out of submarines that year, so they built their own. Must stink in that submarine as well.
Well...
He says something like, does he say it's 3 days until...
Calcutta or wherever, I forget where he's going.
Call me James. It's 5 days to Alaska.
Also, I would have loved it if... Because he's 58. If they'd be like, what are we going to do for 3 days? And I'd love to just smash cut to him, like her in bed, and him next to just reading like the Haynes manual, just with like a couple of like half moon glasses. Yes. Just look. Do you want to fuck? No. I'm old enough to be your father.
Do you think maybe that woman is less on there as a sex object and more sort of a life form that he can suck sustenance from?
I think he is probably just hanging out with her to just find out what the kids are into these days. Just trying, so he doesn't, because he probably would feel old, but he's just like, what's happening in the hit parade?
Snowboarding.
Yeah. Anything else?
Swatches.
Have you heard of someone called Wham?
I assume it's some sort of sound. But when he gets back, he's met with Q, who's very excited about his sex robot. Can you imagine if you are actually M and your elderly gadget man brings that in?
Yeah.
You'd be like, when's it in the shops? No, it's not. It's not a toy. It's a sophisticated...
It's very sophisticated. It's covert. No one... Because it blends in.
Or... if Q is to say, look, I am retiring and I'm going into Robot Wars with this.
Activate.
So Q puts it into the micro comparator.
Yeah.
But as he does so, you get, unfortunately, a very good close-up of his hands, which are now in an elderly state.
Yeah.
And they look like off sausages with fingernails glued on them. So they say to Bond, you're going to go and need to speak to a horse expert about doping.
Right.
And it's a man called... Akil Aubergine.
Is this... I mean, they just didn't give a fuck at that point, do they? They've got a French dictionary and flipped to like page 3 of the A's. I went, that'll do.
Akil Aubergine is possibly one of my favourite characters in James Bond, though.
Right.
Because he's clearly a pervert.
Talk me through that.
Well...
Is it because he's French?
He's French, so yes. His name's Akil Aubergine.
Right.
Which makes him sound
like... It didn't mean anything back then. There weren't emojis back then. It's a much more kinky thing now.
No, well, of course, but I just mean that he sounds in your head like a children's book where there's a little aubergine man with a little beret.
Yeah.
And he says the line, security is formidable, but the key to this mystery is there, and I, Akil Aubergine, intend to find it. And then he dies.
And then he dies.
But he also, the reason I'm saying it's perfect is just slightly before that, when the Dominique, the butterfly lady, is doing her dance, surrounded by butterflies, so she's like kind of bringing them down like the dove from above.
Yeah.
He turns to Bond and says, perhaps we should add this butterfly to our collection, huh? And a kind of, we're going to have...
we're going to gangbang the poor woman on stage.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
But then again, if you were having dinner and Roger Moore and Akil Aubergine went on stage and gangbanged a woman, it's better than the entertainment that was going on, isn't it?
I mean, the word better is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence, isn't it? If you went, did you go to Paris? Yeah, we went to Paris. We went up the Eiffel Tower. They got the cafe there now. And I had the soup. You had the soup as well, yeah. And then we watched two old men fuck a woman on stage at 3 PM.
But Bond chases. He runs down, gets in a cab from a stereotypical Frenchman who's standing there drinking wine.
Might be Ribena.
Doubt though.
No, it's wine.
He goes, "Oh, my taxi."
Macabre.
Yeah, macabre. And he drives off, and then we get it's quite a good stunt sequence.
It's not bad. It's Remy Julien, who's actually the best in the business.
Who's doubling Roger he's got some sort of like hamster on his head.
Right.
When he goes under the barrier and it chops off the top of the car and he sits up, you can see it's him wearing this orange wig. Looks like Donald Trump.
It's actually Remy Julien, or is it a different guy?
Yeah, it's Remy Julien.
Oh, okay.
It all climaxes, as it were, on the Seine, or Seine.
Yeah.
With Bond jumping into a wedding cake on someone's wedding. If it was my wedding, I'd be very cross.
Would you?
Yeah, if an old man fell through the skylight onto my wedding cake.
Oh,
and then have the brass balls to hand a bit of it to someone and just say, congratulations. Like one of
Would you be angry, or would you be like, are you all right?
I'd be quite angry.
Would you?
If it was like one of the Last of Summer Wine blokes.
Yeah, what if it was like a Peter Sallis?
Yeah. Can't see Salis doing that.
But if it happened, you'd be like, well, I didn't know he still had it in.
If it was Salis, my first thought was, I thought it would be Compo.
I'd have thought it was...
Yeah. But basically, Mayday gets away in a waiting speedboat driven by Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
Who we didn't mention earlier, is in it.
I watched the first film he was ever in as a lead. It was a horror film set in a European mental hospital.
Oh.
I can't remember what it's called now, but he was very good in that. I think he had fair hair, you remember? I only remember one bit of it, and it was a great line. He was going, I don't care if you're a girl. I'll punch you in the mouth.
I don't care if you're a girl. I'll punch you right in the mouth.
Oh, please, we stop it.
Anyone who knows me knows that I do 3 impressions, and his is the main one.
What's the other 2?
George and Zippy.
Okay.
Which I will also, if you like, break out later.
Okay, please.
When it's appropriate to the plot.
Please, yeah. So you do George Zippy and Christopher Walken?
Yeah.
The unmade rainbow pilot in America.
Yeah. I heard Jeffrey died. Get me in. I want to read for it. I got the chops.
Do we think that him and Tibbet are a couple?
What evidence have you noted?
They're very bickery like couples, and they go out onto the balcony and they have matching tracksuits.
Yeah. If they're a couple, I'm really... That's why he gets a bit jealous then when Stacey Sutton turns up.
Yes.
Listen. Part of my job is pretending that I like girls. All right? I'm going to go indoors now and have a shower. I assume you'll be joining me. Yes. Right.
And Tibbet could say, well, part of my job is pretending to be your driver, but I can't pretend that I don't love you. But he's wandering around the party and he meets Zorin's friend.
Oh, it's the old German man.
It's the old house Nazi, as my friend Stephen called him. Who wears a monocle. I mean, if you were trying to just if Zorin says to him in his Christopher Walken voice, do us a favour, just blend in. Don't try and look like a Nazi.
You're freaking people out. Don't say, Hans Glaub sounds kind of Nazi. Come up with a better name. What is his name now? What's his fake name?
Dr. Karl Mortner.
Dr. Karl Mortner, that's it. Yeah. Yes, what if I was Dr. Karl Mortner? Still kind of German sounding. I don't think anyone's going, oh, he's probably, French. They're looking at the eye and the hair and the accent and the Nazi fucking name, and they're going, Nazi. Why can't you? I'm going to call you Jeff.
Jeff.
Anyone asks, you're just Dr. Jeff with the horses, okay? Yeah. Oh, God, just do your best. And then he completely forgets. Carl Mortner. God damn it, fine.
But he starts talking to Bond about how cloning could be possible.
Yeah. Maybe don't mention the cloning thing. It's kind of a clue. Yeah, I clone humans and kill them. Oh, God damn.
Yeah, so they have that big fight, and then they realise, well, we got to get back because everyone knows we're out of the house now. Because at this point, Christopher Walken's having white guy karate lessons with Grace Jones, and he gets a phone call, and it's almost like that bit in Black Dynamite.
I told you not to disturb us.
Sir! Who the hell has interrupted my kung fu?
So they go to Bond's room post haste, and he's not in there. And then there's this really weird bit where they peer into Mayday's room, and Bond's in bed.
Yeah.
He goes, "Oh, Mayday, I thought you'd never come," or something. And Walken gives that look like, "Go on, have a go."
Well, he does that. He does some very weird face acting in this.
He does.
It doesn't match the emotion he should have.
Later on, when he's talking about the fire in the office, you were shot trying to escape, that bit. And then he starts giving these weird facial tics.
Yeah. That is the scene I was thinking. There's a bit where I think Roger Moore calls him a psychopath, and he does a face like a little pout.
That's right.
Yeah, out.
God, you have to be here, ladies and gentlemen.
Also, IMDb trivia there. This is one of only 2 Bond films where you can see a pube.
Is it?
Yeah.
You see Mayday's pubes?
You see one of Mayday's pubes.
Just one.
You have to.
Is it on the carpet?
You have to. It's in Roger's teeth later on.
God's sake. But he sees Zorin the next day, and Zorin says, "I trust you slept well." And he says, "A little restless, but I got off eventually."
Oh, God's sake. I'd love it if they'd at the end, he would just go, "I'm not going to bother doing it's not going to be double entendres anymore. I haven't got the strength for it. We're just going to, did you sleep well? Yes. After I jizzed." and that's it. Couldn't give a shit anymore.
But then Zorin gives him some small talk to distract, because he's got a sophisticated Commodore 64.
Oh, fucking yeah.
That can take pictures.
I love this. I love this. I'm going to find out who you are. Let me just boot up CFAX. Okay, 888 subtitles, 777 face recognition. You remember. And I don't know what he's logging onto.
Oh. It's his own computer.
He's got his own computer, which isn't plugged into anything.
No.
He's not getting, www. Like spies, all of them.com.
He does that face there.
Yeah.
When the picture of Bond comes up, he does that. Wow.
He does a little face, like a little, cheeky.
So he says, "Why don't you come out and have a ride with me?" So they go out on the ride, and then his men start attacking Bond.
Yeah.
And lifting up the things, the
yeah.
jumps.
What were they built for?
Killing spies.
I know, but it's like, these weren't cheap, and I'll be honest, didn't think I got to use them. It's a big day for me. Wow.
But Bond's too clever for them and gets away.
Well, he ducks. I mean, what a fucking genius. Right? The horses who were chasing him, who you assume would have been trained on this and done the health and safety. Okay, just so you know, when you're chasing them, I'm going to be changing the levels on the thing. Keep an eye on that. And they're like, "Oh, fucking forgot about that." Bonk. But Roger Moore's like, duck, right? And he gets away with it. It's bullshit.
Yeah, it is bullshit. But then we get the scene where Zorin and Grace Jones go and see the Russians.
Yeah.
Our friend Gogol, and one of the henchmen played by Dolph Lundgren.
Which I didn't realise until yesterday.
And who was he dating at the time?
Grace Jones.
Yes.
I knew he was in it, but I never knew where he was.
I bet his back was fucking knackered, didn't he?
Oh, God, he's a weak man at that point.
Roger Moore tells a story that his next dressing room to him was Grace Jones and Dolph Lundgren.
Right.
When they were doing this film. He said they played loud music all the time. And he had to go and tell them to turn it down. Oh, this is my favourite bit. After this, Zorin is on his airship. And we get the repeat of the scene from Goldfinger. Where if any of you want to leave, you can. And one says, "Oh, I will leave, thank you." And they drop him out of the airship. But then they're flying over Golden Gate Bridge. And Mayday says,
"Wow. What a view."
To a kill.
That doesn't make any sense.
I remember as a child watching this and going, I remember intently going, when I grow up, I'll know what the fuck that means. And I still don't.
No, I still don't. So Bond catches Fiona Fullerton at the seafront, but they go to a hot tub to relax because obviously after witnessing one of your comrades being chopped up, you're going to get in the hot tub.
Yeah.
And this is where you get some lovely, I don't know, it must be a body double of Rog, just sort of tiptoeing, mincing about and getting in the hot tub.
Yeah.
And again, hair's not getting wet.
Yeah.
Very careful
can't
not
risk
to
it.
get that wet.
It'll rust the nail that's keeping it on.
It'll turn the pool brown, won't it? Well, he goes to her house. Rather than knocking on the front door, he decides to sneak into her bedroom and have a quick look at her having a shower.
Yeah.
I'd just knock on the front door.
Yeah.
She comes out with a shotgun, as you rightly would if a 56-year-old man wandered into your bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
But then, luckily, just then, before Bond can possibly explain why he's doing that, they're ambushed. So Bond shoos them away. One of them's got the worst wig on I've ever seen. Looks like Harpo Marx. To calm things down, Bond decides to make her some dinner. And he says, opening the oven, et voila, quiche de cabernet. Made her a quiche.
Yeah, it's a quiche, isn't it?
She says, what is it?
And he says it's an omelette.
It's an omelette. It's supposed to be funny, and she laughs. Don't know.
Is that supposed to be funny?
I think so, because she laughs.
But he's given. I thought the joke was he's given a posh word to an omelette.
Maybe so.
But it's not an omelette.
It's not an omelette.
It's got a crust.
Yeah, it's a quiche. It looks shit as well.
It does.
So they come down, and then they met with a policeman who says, and this is my favourite bit, there's a man been killed. Is this your gun? And Bond goes, yes, thank you.
It feels very much. It's very workmanlike. It feels like if British Leyland made Bond films, it's like that. Go, yeah, we make them in factory.
Yeah.
It's just they just run it. If I watch the making of right, and there's a bit where it's just all these people who just look like they're putting cars together.
Yeah.
And they don't even say action. There's a bit. They were filming a bit by the mines at the end, and Christopher Walken's supposed to come on that little thing that he's pushing, that little trailer thing, and they don't even say action. They just go, "All right, go on, Chris." Now, yeah, okay.
Every part is a challenge, and this is certainly different from anything I've ever done.
But Zorin's plan at this point is he's put a bomb in the mine, which then the grand plan is he's going to blow up Silicon Valley, flood it. Well, he's going to blow up this, flood Silicon Valley, and then take over the microchip market.
Right. What are you going to do now? Build more? I'm being told they can build more. Okay, plan B. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe opening a coffee shop. Oh,
we have to flood all other coffee shops. We have to flood.
Yeah. And that's what I'm going to do. Goodbye, Costa.
And Mayday thinks, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, she turns all
She
the
has a change of heart.
Right, yeah.
And helps Bond get the bomb out, which goes on for fucking ages, by the way. Him being lowered in there. And then goes outside and blows up.
Yeah.
But just before she blows up, which often happens apparently, with shock, she turns into a mannequin. Apparently that happens.
Yeah.
If you notice in a lot of films when someone
Casino, it happened, yeah.
Yeah, and someone falls out of a plane, they'll often turn into a floppy mannequin dummy. Yeah.
Bust his knees before you throw him out. That way, people think it's a dummy. I think it all through. Intuitive genius.
Meanwhile, Stacy comes wandering out of a hole and gets kidnapped by a Zeppelin.
Which...
How shit do you have to be to get kidnapped by a
How
Zeppelin?
deaf do you have to be to not hear a Zeppelin coming up behind you going, what's that? Huh? Yeah, someone around here's got one of them, sounds like a lawnmower. Who's mowing a lawn around here? It's a mine. I don't know about this. It seems...
So then Zorin goes out with an axe to sort him out.
Yep.
And they've also crashed into the Golden Gate Bridge, so half of the Zeppelin's like exposed of the little thing.
That's right, yes.
And Morton has an amazing moment that happens to old people a lot, and sometimes when I'm really tired, he tries to get out of his seat and forgets he's got his seatbelt on. He goes, fuck.
This would have never happened under the Fuhrer.
But he's also got what everybody else at that time had. It's a big craze in the 80s, like SodaStream and Swing Ball.
Yeah.
He had loads of dynamite in the fridge.
Yeah, we had them.
In the fridge.
In the fridge.
And he thinks, I'll sort everything out. I'll just get some dynamite and throw them. You know, don't worry that we're in a hot air balloon thousands of feet above the air.
I'm going to say this.
The ground, even.
People have mocked this scene before. If it had worked, he'd have been a fucking hero.
Yeah. Good Walken acting here, though, because when he's going to fall off the bridge, rather than looking all scared and everything, he gives that kind of laugh.
Maniacal laugh. Yeah.
And then slips.
That's a lovely touch.
It's great.
Yeah.
And then we get something that's a bit of a trope in Bond films where the HQ don't know where he is.
Yeah.
So they go to Stacey's house and they put into action Q's sophisticated surveillance robot.
Yep.
And it trundles through the house and sees Bond having a shower with Stacey.
Yeah.
And then you hear her giggling, and his last ever line of James Bond, which could not be more fitting ever, is... Oh. And I'm wondering if she's put something up his bum.
I'd like to think so.
Yeah.
Smersh